It is Super Bowl week. Nate Burleson used to work with me on Extra as a correspondent in New York. And then I think it was the pixie dust I sprinkled all over the guy. I don't know what it was. The man is literally on fire. CBS Mornings, CBS NFL Today, Hollywood's. There's my man, Nate Burleson. What? My God, is anything going?
What's up, baby?
Is anything
What's up,
wrong
baby? How
in
you
your
doing?
life? Let's hear you complain for a little while. What's going wrong for you, Nate?
Well, first, let me say the pixie dust, it did work. You sprinkled it on me when we were working together. I
Oh,
appreciate you taking those few days off because when you took those days off, I was able to, man the ship and be the captain while you were away. So thank you for allowing me to spread my wings and fly. But there's a lot going on right now. Listen, I
yeah.
heard you talking. You were going on your rant. I want to re-engage on something. Listen, we'll get to the Super Bowl. We'll
Hit
get
me.
to
You
everything.
watched the Grammys
But
last night on
yeah,
your
I did
network.
watch the
Of
Grammys.
course
Of
you did.
course I did. Of course I did. Okay, so you mentioned Kanye. Some people would describe him as a genius. Some may say
Yep.
him and his relationship with his wife is over sexualized. Some people say it's just organized chaos. I ask you, because your statement was a second ago, where's the outrage that he is controlling his wife? And then you went on to make your statement. I ask you, why isn't it complicit? Because she isn't saying that she is a hostage. She is not complaining or tweeting or reaching out to other people. So we're talking about Kanye controlling her. How about we just say that she's complicit with everything that's going on because she's the one actually putting on the
Oh,
clothes? I didn't see him drag her on the red carpet. I didn't see him tell her what to
no.
do. I saw her walk up, take the jacket off, and flex all of what God has blessed her with. So
Yep.
I'm just telling you, that's what I saw.
When you say blessed, what do you mean
Okay,
blessed?
it could be bought. Blessed or
Did
bought,
you
it's the
see?
same thing.
First of all,
You
Nate,
know what
did you
I'm
see
saying?
the
You know what I'm
12-year-old
saying?
boy? Did you see the 12-year-old boy at the end of the
You
carpet
talking about
leaning out behind
the
the
one?
curtain? That's you. That's me. That's everybody. I'm just saying it's a bad look. He's sitting there like he's security. He goes, "You're going to take it off. Drop the thing in 3, 2." What is that for? What is that for?
Yeah.
I think she's just weak. I mean, she's got
Now,
nothing
Billy,
else going
see,
on.
that's something completely different. Saying he's controlling her is one thing, but saying it's a bad look is another. I agree with you. Yeah, it's a
Like
bad
property.
look.
It just looks
If you
like
have
property. It's not
if
good.
you have your lady, I would want my lady's goods and my lady parts to be just for my eyes and my hands in my bedroom. So yeah, for your opinion and mine, yeah, it's a bad look. You're showing off what should be yours in a private setting to the whole world. But that's what they want to do. And I emphasize they. I think a lot
Yeah.
gets lost in blaming Kanye because it's Kanye. But at the same time, she's also complicit in everything that they do, or else she would be gone or at the very least complaining about
All right, Burleson with the last word on Kanye West, who I don't know what the hell's going on with it. All right,
it. All right,
let's go
let's
to
talk,
a
baby.
quick one. You're watching the show last. First of all, you're everywhere, but I swear to God, you just tell me quickly. Is there a cloning thing going on with Gail King? I swear she is everywhere you look. Gail King is there, and last night, of course, she's at the Grammys. How many Gail Kings are there officially?
Listen, if there is something going on with the cloning, Gail it has been first in line a long time ago because she will go somewhere on the West Coast, hop on a plane, show up on the show Monday morning, Tuesday morning, bright and early. Gail never misses a day. She truly loves what she does. Shout out to Gail King. Nobody works
Yeah.
harder. People say, "Oh, Nate, you're everywhere. You're kicking butt. You're working your butt off." I'm like, no. I'm sitting next to Gail King. I have no room to complain because she is really setting the standard.
Let's be honest. Tony DeCopel, the third guy on your on CBS. Well, he's the lazy guy. He's the lazy guy here. All right. Quickly, what do you think about Kendrick Lamar last night wore the Canadian tuxedo? Denim on denim. Do you think
I
that was a
like
little
it.
dig at Drake? Was that a little dig at Drake, his Canadian buddy? Was he keeping it alive? Look at me in my Canadian tux.
Listen, Kendrick is very, very calculated. I think that was 100% planned, rocking the Canadian tuxedo. I was born in Canada. I was born in Calgary, Alberta. So I know what a Canadian tuxedo looks like in real time. Shout out to Kendrick, though. One hell of an album. People forget that his albums have been incredible. The diss track was out of this world. And on top of that, people keep mentioning these Grammys. He's a Pulitzer Prize winner too. Kendrick is one of the few geniuses we have in hip hop. So appreciate him while we have him.
All right, Kanye, you might have been first, but Kendrick is our current genius. Nate.
No doubt.
All right.
Yes.
How about this? This will get into our Chiefs conversation, but we'll enter the Chiefs conversation with this. Is there anyone more relieved to lose at the Grammys than Taylor Swift last night? I'm telling you, she did not want to win. She's like, I got the Chiefs going. I got the Giant Tour. I got the Blake Lively Baldoni thing where she's in the room, and now there's talk that she was sort of heavy-handing Baldoni. She did not want to get up there and have this. Am I right about the loss? Right?
Listen. 2024 was the year of Beyonce and Taylor Swift. Taylor was cooking. The tour was going crazy. She released the movie that was about the tour, and that sold out. And of course, like, she just can't miss when it comes to every song, every album that she drops. I think that she had a good time just being a fan for once, just kicking it, relaxing, being a presenter. She was grooving and dancing, shaking her groove thing while other people were getting nominated and going up to accept their awards. She's going to be in New Orleans. We all know this. A lot of people are saying that she might pop up at halftime and perform with Kendrick. I don't know about that. I just feel like for the first time in a long time, Taylor Swift is enjoying just being a regular person and not being in the spotlight. I feel you on that, Billy.
Yeah, there's nothing better than when you're that big to be seen dancing and supporting others in their endeavors.
Exactly.
It's just a great look. The great Nate Burleson with us here from CBS NFL Today, CBS Mornings, Hollywood Squares, you name it. Why are people tired of the Chiefs? Is it the incessant talk about the greatness of Patrick Mahomes? Is it Andy Reid's television commercials, and throw in Travis and Mahomes too? Is it Kelce and Taylor Swift, the conspiracy theories about referees and the NFL favoring their Chiefs? What's going on here?
So this is Hot Mics, right?
Hot mics, baby.
This is where we keep it real, right?
Keep it real.
All right, so it's a couple of things, and I'll go down the list. I think at the very top, it's fatigue. People are fatigued because we've seen this over and over again. There is this moment where when you start winning in sports, everybody likes you. It's like the entire country rallies around you. The Lakers had it for a little bit, and the Bulls had it for a little bit. Let's talk about football. It was the Patriots that had it for a little bit. The Chiefs had it for a little bit. But then when you go from winning a few championships to all of a sudden being close to creating a dynasty, that's when the country is like, whoa, wait a minute. You are dominating too much. It's funny. It happens in music and sports in the industry.
Taylor Swift. We just talked about Taylor.
We just talked about it.
She's adjacent to this.
Everybody loved her. And then overnight, we hated her because she was successful. The same thing with Beyonce. Listen, when you find success in sports, people find reasons to hate on you. Okay, so that's one thing. We get it. It's fatigue. But then you move on to this second layer. This is where I'm going to keep it all the way real. I think a lot of people are finding reasons to not give them credit. This year, there were a lot of close games that the Chiefs won. We're talking one-score games. And in every NFL game, there's a couple of plays that the refs will mess up. And that is inevitable. And that's across the board. But what they are doing with the Chiefs, they'll point to those 2 or 3 plays in a game and say, no. The ref stole that one. No. The NFL scripted. Let me tell you right now, for everybody who's watching, there is no way you can script an NFL game. There is no way a ref can control the narrative of an NFL game. There's 11 dudes on each side of the ball with coaching calling plays, and they don't even know what plays they're calling. It's the ultimate chess match. Yeah, there's going to be human error. That's why refs are out there. If it was machines calling the game and it was a replay every single moment something happened, the games will take 6 hours long. You need humans out there that will make mistakes every once in a while, so just give them forgiveness. But let me just say this very clearly. You cannot script an NFL game. It's one of the most idiotic takes out there, saying that the NFL wants the Chiefs to win and they want Taylor Swift to be on TV and they want Patrick Mahomes to catch Tom Brady. No. Nothing is given in the NFL. Everything is earned. Have a few things fail their way? Yeah, but that's the way sports goes.
But human error is what we just said is, look, it's a fact of life, right? But the home team, how much of an advantage in that AFC championship do they really get at home? Because, look, I'm a guy that wants to be liked. I prefer it if people like me. I don't need everyone to like me, but I'd like it. You like to be liked. Look at the business we're in.
No doubt.
Right? I mean, so if you're a ref, it's a little bit in favor there because you look at there were several plays from that game, at least 2 that were I mean, terrible calls, and they were consequential. You're right. Josh
Yeah.
Allen did get the first down when he leaped for it on fourth. He got that, and then there was a catch that definitely hit the ground and wasn't, necessarily in the guy's arms. So there's two calls there. There was a taunting call with Travis Kelce. That's third. But these are major and they're consequential. Is that a home team thing at that point, not Chiefs?
Some would say that's a Chiefs thing. Others would say that's a little bit of home cooking, as we say in football. Like I said, when you have found success, I think there's this partiality that refs may have, and not even know that they have it. You remember watching Michael Jordan play? He was the greatest of all time. He didn't need help, but I know them refs are like, "What'd you say, Mike? Hey, Mike, it was a foul? Yeah, okay." And they call the foul, and Mike be on the free throw line shooting his 2 shots. It just happens naturally. I will say this, though. I agree he might have got that first down on that QB sneak. That ball that was on the shoulder of the wide receiver and the tip of the ball hit the ground, new rules say if it doesn't leave the person, if it jostles a little bit but doesn't leave the person, it's still a catch. Now, the taunting, another player, a young guy that you don't know, that maybe had a few flags thrown on them before, they might get that flag when Travis Kelce is out there barking. With all of that said, this is what I mean by the human error of the mistakes will never, the human error of the refs making mistakes will never trump the ability of the team to win. This is what I mean by that. Even after all of that, the Bills had a chance to win the game.
This is why.
See, there's the logic right there. It's like, okay, there were some bad calls. But even with that said, in the final moments of the fourth quarter, there were multiple opportunities for the Bills to score a touchdown, and they didn't.
All right, we got a huge matchup. It's going to be. This is why Nate Burleson, by the way, 2-time Emmy winner for analysis. So you're hearing.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
You're hearing it with the passion that only Burleson brings. Can Mahomes pass Brady as the GOAT?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You think that's...
I'll cut you off and jump right in. When Brady retired, I thought to myself, there is no way in hell we will see another quarterback that will accomplish what he has done. Right. There's no way. I mean, with the money that guys make and how they don't play as long and the opportunities to win, it's difficult because there's more talent now in the NFL. We're not going to see this again. And then here comes Patrick Mahomes. I mean, just think about this. In the years that he has started, out of the 7 seasons, I believe it is, 5 of those seasons, he has been to a Super Bowl. The other 2 seasons, he lost in the AFC Championship game.
It's crazy.
To 2 quarterbacks who were playing lights out, which was the Cincinnati Bengals, Joe Burrow, and, of course, Tom Brady. So he's either been to the closest game to the Super Bowl or the Super Bowl 5 times. And he's still young. And I believe he's passionate and still wants to play. Oh, and not to mention, it's not just about Mahomes. What do we often tie to Tom Brady when it comes to him playing in New England? It's Tom Brady
and Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick, exactly.
Big Andy he's a sexy man on the sideline, a beautiful man. But I mean, hats off to Andy. I love Andy.
That's right. Big Red. Shout out to Big Red. By the way,
probably out of Travis and Patrick and Andy, I think the best actor. I think he performs the best in the commercials.
It's believable, right? He has this really smooth delivery. I agree.
All right, Travis Kelce, I'm going to wax poetic here for a second because it's hot mics and we keep it all the way real with Nate Burleson right here from NFL Today on CBS. Travis Kelce, 35 years old. He'd like one more. After this, does he continue or does he ride off and go to the next chapter, which is a father with Taylor Swift, a little baby, and then they can hold our attention like Kardashians, man. Every little move they make, does he just weave that narrative, or does he keep playing football like, you're tight end, you take a big beating, and he's 35?
Yeah, he's lost a step. He's still as good as ever, still one of the best route runners of all time. I believe he's the best tight end ever, the most accomplished, that's for sure. Gronk is right there, of course. I don't want any Patriots fans to get mad at me. But I think it would be perfect if they won and he walked away. But when it comes to sports, the most difficult thing is to walk away. Even Tom Brady squeezed out an extra 2 years after leaving New England. You remember, we remember seeing Michael Jordan with the Wizards. Like the last thing to leave us is the delusion that we have. that we are still at the top of our game. I feel like Travis is going to come back as long as the organization is willing to have him back. And Patrick Mahomes says, I want my number one tight end. He still doesn't need to be as productive. He can give you half the stats and still make an impact. But I feel like if they win, why not walk away? You got everything, right? You got the beautiful
game shows.
You're going to start. You got the game shows. He's going to do some acting. And we're hearing that there's a proposal and maybe a family around the corner.
Oh, she wants
go ahead
the baby.
And start your life.
She's 35 too. She wants that
baby.
I'm saying. Yeah, that's on. But you can do that while you play too, I believe.
That is true. That is true. You can definitely make some babies while you're playing, or at least get the reps in.
All right, Nate, before we take a pause here, Nate Burleson with me. I got to tell you, I'm a Giants fan, through and through, born and raised. Is the Giants losing Saquon Barkley the worst move in the history of the NFL? Is it possible? How do you keep your job after letting that happen, letting Saquon go? How does that... It's unbelievable. They called him too old at the age of 27 years old, and $13 million was just way too much. So we didn't pay the guy, and look at him. The best season, ever, and putting running backs back on the map.
It is absolutely ridiculous that the Giants let him go. And what made it worse was the Hard Knocks footage that came out. Like when they were sitting there talking about it so flippantly and dismissive, like, we don't pay a quarterback that much to hand the ball off, and they basically called him and was like, hey, we're going to let you go test the market. And behind the scenes, they were like, he'll go and test the market. He's not going to get what he wants. He'll come crawling back. If we're all football fans reading in between the lines, that's what the organization was saying. So disrespectful to Saquon. And then he goes out within the division after the GM, everybody's saying, hey, man, if he goes to the division, I'm going to be pissed. Well, guess what? Color me pissed, because he went right there to the Philadelphia Eagles and had the best season we've ever seen from a running back in that uniform. I just feel like it's one of the biggest fumbles, and the fact that they let all that audio come out of them just casually letting this guy walk away from the organization that wanted to stay. And Billy, it's one thing if Saquon was a jerk and didn't want to stay and always had his eyes on another organization. He wanted to be a Giant for life, and they fumbled it just like we say in football. Oh, and not to mention, there was that other clip when the teenage son was talking to the GM, and he's like, who should I draft, son?
Jaden Daniels.
On the couch. Yeah, Jaden Daniels. And then he kind of jokes with his son, like, you don't know what you're talking about. And the son says, hey, you only got one chance to do this. You want to win, don't you? Teenage son needs to be the one making the decisions.
All right, we can still write a check to the Shane family for general managers. It's just not the dad. Okay?
Yeah, get the teenage son in the building.
I am rooting. This is crazy for a Giants fan to ever say, I am rooting for the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I want it badly because I want it for Saquon Barkley. I want Saquon Barkley. I want him to finish, pardon me, Mom, the ultimate fuck you to the Giants. Pardon the language, but I want...
no doubt. I think it's the biggest FU in sports, for sure. Yep. 100%.
I want that for Saquon, and I believe I think he's gonna get super. Hey, I don't like to do too much betting, but I think I'm gonna dig somewhere in my pockets. I got a little bit of that extra money, not quite what I don't want Burleson money. I can tell you that, but I'm going for the parlay. I'm going for the Eagles to win outright. Forget about the 1.5 spread or whatever it is. Eagles to win outright. I want Saquon is going to get 100 yards or more and at least one touchdown. And if I'm feeling crazy, MVP. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I can make a lot of money on that, right? You think?
Extra.
Oh, I'm going to need an extra job if I'm wrong, I'll tell you that, because it's tight. All right, Nate, we got a few things to talk about more. Don't move. We're catching up. It's Old Dome Week here. We're just getting started with Nate Burleson, the NFL Today, CBS This Morning, Hollywood Squares, just an old buddy. And one of the greats, Hot Mics with Billy Bush, is presented by our friends at LA Golf. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Hot Mics with Billy Bush brought to you by LA Golf. Upgrade your game. Take your golf experience to the next level at lagolf.com. And for all the sports fans out there, don't miss a beat with TuneIn Premium. Unlock access to the biggest college football and basketball games, every NHL game with no blackouts, and commercial-free ESPN radio to keep you up to date on all the breaking news around the sports world. Plus, enjoy over 300 commercial-free music stations to suit every mood or activity, whether you're into today's hits, classic rock, smooth jazz, country roads, or anything in between. There's even over 100 mood stations to help you unwind and chill out. Stay informed with commercial-free CNN, Fox News Radio, MSNBC, and more with fewer ads and no interruptions. Tune in to 100,000 global radio stations and podcasts and get breaking news and sports talk anytime, anywhere. Go to tunein.com/premium and sign up today to unlock it all. Welcome back to Hot Mics with Billy Bush, brought to you by LA Golf. And we are back with Nate Burleson of CBS Everything. I'm just going to shorten it now. Nate, let's make a prediction here. Chiefs, it's not a big spread. Chiefs or Eagles? Who do you like in this?
I want Saquon to win it. My heart is with Saquon, but logic tells me don't bet against the Chiefs, so I'm going with the Chiefs to win their third Super Bowl in a row, doing something that hasn't been done in the NFL.
Probably by one score again, right? Like the 17 consecutive games before it or something. Okay, here's another prediction. Who wins the field goal kicking, Peyton or Eli Manning for Fan to Kick of Destiny?
I'm going to go with Eli Manning.
Me
I
too.
Feel like Eli in the biggest moments, he knows how to drop his you-know-what. You know, he did it a couple times against the Patriots. My man got some cojones when the moments matter the most. So I'm going with Eli Manning.
And you know he's working so hard at it right now. I mean, he is like Jordan, showing up to shoot free throws for 3 hours. He is kicking field goals like crazy in his backyard.
No doubt.
He's like Bryson DeChambeau firing, hole-in-one over his house. He's going one after the other. I also think that's going to happen. Nate, you're drafted by the Vikings, 2003, third round. Played a little Seattle, played a little Detroit. Hey, Detroit, you got to be so happy for Detroit fans. Just the
what
fact
a season!
that
What a season!
Just that they win. You know what I mean? Like what a miserable thing to be a Detroit Lions fan. Oh my God! Now it's so nice.
Yeah, you know about it. I mean, as a Giants fan, you had your terrible seasons. I mean, but we don't know what that Super Bowl victory.
But I know a taste. I know a double taste. Oh, by the way, today is the day, the anniversary of the Tyree catch. It was on this very day.
The helmet catch.
The helmet catch by David Tyree, one of the greatest catches of all time to keep the Giants alive against the Patriots.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because David Tyree came on my show once, and I'm sitting here looking at him, right, envious because he has this Super Bowl ring in this moment that everybody remember. Now, I played in the NFL for 11 years and made some good money. I'm blessed and thankful for that. But I did not win a Super Bowl. I didn't get close, maybe one game away a couple of times, but I didn't play in the big game. So I had to grapple with this question that I asked myself over and over again after meeting Tyree and seeing his ring. Now, this is a would you rather, a little locker room action for you right now. Mm-hmm. Would you rather have a David Tyree moment with a Super Bowl ring, knowing that forever you will be remembered for that catch and you'll be part of a team that is Super Bowl champions? Or would you rather have a 10-plus year career making $30, $40, $50 million? Like, which one would you rather have? Because David Tyree did not have a long career, but he had a moment that lasts a lifetime.
Well, if we can get this even more personal and say Tyree or Burleson, I'm Burleson every 10 times out of 10 because I got the 11-year career. I make a bunch of money. By the way, once caught 19 passes in one game, a nice little number there for Nate Burleson.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And then the broadcasting career and the game show hosting and all that stuff, I think but Tyree, as a Giant, look, he goes in my personal Hall of Fame.
Such a moment.
I was there
it was
at that
an epic
game.
Moment for him.
You were there in Phoenix. I was there for the Phoenix victory, and I was there for the Indianapolis victory when we did it again years later. But Tyree goes down in everybody's hearts. Love the man.
For sure.
But for you, look, pro athletes, it's about the parlay, right? You have a Strahan-like parlay. Two guys I both love, two great friends of mine, and I say, those guys really did it right? Just a very elite moves. What do you attribute the parlay to?
I would say long days, short nights, and early mornings. A lot of people see me on TV and just think, oh, man, he rose to fame pretty fast. It was quite meteoric, and it happened overnight. No. I was grinding. I remember when I started working for Extra. At that time, that was like my fourth or fifth job that I was doing simultaneously. And it's because I wanted so desperately to prove that I could not just survive in other spaces, but excel in other spaces. But also, though, when you're playing with people or working with people that are elite at their jobs, you snuggle up next to them, you learn from them, you soak up the knowledge in the game. I played with Randy Moss. I played next to Calvin Johnson. Even though he was younger, he was a great. And I tried to pull a little bit from him. And I did that throughout my playing career, and I did it in TV. I did it at the NFL Network. I do it at CBS. And when I met you, one thing I could say about you, brother, you from the very moment were inviting, you embraced me. And not only that, you gave me gems along the way, and you were like, here's what you need to do moving forward. And if you have, these goals of being much bigger than just a football analyst, here's your path that you need to take. And I was listening, and I paid attention to everything you did, not just try to mimic you when I was working and hosting extra on your days off, but I was trying to take all of the things that my OGs and my mentors and the people that I looked up to, like yourself, and I just put that in my pocket and used it at the right time. So I just want to say in front of the world, thank you. I appreciate that, because we've been in this business a long time, and not every person you look up to acts the way that you expect them to when you meet them.
Oh, Nate, I thank you for that. That's very kind. But I also had that experience where there are two types of people. It's a competitive business, right? There's the ones that feel you in their space, and you can see the fur on the back of the neck stands up. I've had that at a different morning show, not yours. And then I've had the opposite, which was actually crazy, wacky old Pat O'Brien was great to me when I got to Access Hollywood. Crazy Pat with the mustache and the beautiful Cabernet Sauvignon going right through it. That animal, but he was so welcoming of me, and I was actually the Access correspondent in New York. What you were doing stuff in New York, and he was just so into it, and we had so much fun, and he embraced me, and he lifted me up, he validated, made me feel good. Now you've gone on, and you got guys like, you got JB, James Brown, one of the great.
No doubt.
Is he the cuddliest guy? Now, are you aware of how much James Brown, your host, your main guy, your moderator of NFL Today, how much he sleeps? Do you know how much he sleeps?
I don't know how much he sleeps.
Check him out on the road. He sleeps about 18 hours a day. He brings his own blackout shades to the hotel room. Have you noticed he's not around? You guys are in the lobby? You haven't noticed this?
No, hey, I tell you what, he can't catch a nap anywhere, so you might be right. You might be right. He is the cuddliest, though. He is the big teddy bear. He's the best. James Brown is the best.
I once talked to him in an interview. We talked about sleep for about how much he loves it, how much he sleeps a day. Believe you got to get into this with me. All right, Nate Burleson with us. Your dad Al played in the CFL. Alvin, your brother played for the Washington Huskies. Your brother Kevin played in the NBA for the Charlotte Bobcats. Your brother Lindell played college basketball at Nevada. Which brother was in the Nutcracker?
Which brother was in the Nutcracker?
Are you guys all? I mean, everybody.
Oh my gosh. Now, hey, listen, it is a football, basketball family. We were so competitive growing up. And what's crazy is my wife ran track. Her little brother, Arizona Player of the Year, played college basketball. So the genetic code is firing. And my two sons are now playing college football in Nevada. So hopefully in a few years, we'll be talking about them playing in a Super Bowl.
Oh my God, how exciting. And so obviously you follow the NBA. What do you think of the Luka trade? Everybody in Los Angeles is going. He's already touched down on the ground. He's given the LA sign to the cameras.
See him? Hey, Luka touchdown on the ground, throwing up the gang signs. Okay, Luka, hey, be careful with the gang signs. It can get a little tricky in LA. Hey, but listen, it did shock the world. I'm a big NBA fan. I love the NBA. My brother who played in the NBA, he's coaching with the Pistons right now, and they're having a good season. So I'm watching the NBA every night. But that shocked the world. But everybody's acting like Anthony Davis is a slouch. One, he's not that old. He's going to go out there and make an immediate impact. I believe Kyrie in that whole organization, Jason Kidd, even though he didn't know the trade was happening, if you look at the press conference, you can see it written all over his face. I believe they want to win now. Now, Luka, on the other hand, he's going to have to learn from LeBron. I know we're all saying the same thing. And I'm not falling for the narratives or whatever happened in Dallas that he's eating too much and he weighs too much. I don't know the inside story, so I can't say. I will say this. There's a lot of people that get around LeBron and adopt his habits and become better players. So if Luka can work and take care of his body like LeBron, the Lakers have their franchise guy for the next 10 years.
That's beautiful. Listen, we're getting along so beautifully, having so much fun catching up. I don't want to say it, but I think the NBA, I don't want to fight with you. I just think it's a terrible product. I cannot watch the games. There's too much ISO, too much one-on-one pull-up shot. I'm watching individual corporations, go at each other. It's just not a great team sport. Like, where's the beauty? I like the short era, man. I'm an old fart, so I like Stockton to Malone. I mean, I like Johnny Starks and Oakley and Ewing and Iverson
That's where we agree. I am a late 80s, early 90s, and maybe early 2000s in NBA nut. Like that's my era. That's my pocket. I agree with you on this type of style. It's a lot of jacking up the threes and one-on-one and ISOs. But when you see good basketball, you recognize it. But I know the NBA tried to spice it up with the in-season tournament, and that helps a little bit. But it's hard. It's hard to retain the fans and then keep them locked in through the playoffs. Guys that are sick pups like me that just like watching basketball, I'll watch it. But I'm right there with you, man. I remember those old Knicks games. I remember when John Starks came baseline left-handed and dunked on the Bulls, and Michael Jordan was right there in the frame. I remember that.
When I was in college, with buddies and I would sit around on the couch, and if I was a little tuned up after a Saturday night, boom, we'd end the night, and the Bushman would come in. I called myself the Bush Doctor, and we'd have a roll-up set of rolled-up socks, and I'd play, and they would kick it to me, and I would pretend Starksy, and I would play Starksy to the doctor. It's Johnny Starks, Starksy to the doctor, and then I would try to drain it into the trash can from the corner. I love John Starks. I miss that, man. That's my team. The Knicks. Nate Burleson, my man, I love you. Oh, everyone's commenting in the chat here, right? My hat that I'm wearing right now. What three sports teams are in this logo?
All right, so we have the Rams, we have the Dodgers, and we have the Lakers. Easy money. Come on now.
Is that a great logo?
That's a really good logo, man. I need one of those hats, bro.
I'm going to send you one.
That's fire.
That's the least I can do for my friend here joining me on Hot Mics. Nate Burleson, are you going to the Super Bowl? You're going to head down there? You must be.
I'll be there. You going to be there?
I will not be there because I'm going to watch it on a big screen. But we got
to do this again, though. I like Hot Mics. I like my food hot. You know what I mean? I like my wife hot. I like everything hot. So let's go ahead and do this again, baby.
I might be calling you Monday after the game for your thoughts. I want to see if it all worked out.
I'll tap in with you. I'm flying out that morning, but whenever I can land and touch down, I'll do it, baby. I got you.
Even walking through the airport. Nate Burleson, thanks so much. I love you, pal.
All right, love you too, Billy.
Take care.